Hi, so yeah, Andrew from Empiric. Today I'm talking with Sam from ServiceNow about the RiseUp program. Thanks for joining us, Sam. Do you want to give us a quick kind of
Yeah,
introduction,
that'd be
snapshot of
great. So
yourself?
great to meet you, Andrew. So my name's Sam Ogilvie. I'm a solution consultant at ServiceNow, and I've been at ServiceNow for about 2.5 years. My background was very not traditionally technology. Didn't even study IT as a GCSE, so it's quite strange, I guess, how I've ended up in the role that I am today. But I'm excited to share a bit about that journey with you.
Yeah, perfect. And what does a solution consultant at
So solution
ServiceNow do?
consulting is essentially technical pre-sales. So you're helping the sales process with technical expertise. So when a customer has a business challenge, you then try to find out more about that business challenge from a technical point of view, and you work with a account executive, or you might refer to them as a salesperson, to they work on the business side, you work on the technical side, and then you work together to ultimately help solve the customer's problem. That can involve doing things like demonstrations, presenting to customers, and understanding a lot about the ServiceNow platform at what we refer to as like a across the board platform level. So when you need to know something really, really deep about an area, then you get specialists and who know more about that. But there are specialist solution consultants who spend their time focusing on just a certain product area.
Amazing, amazing. And what was your background before being involved
So
with
it's quite
ServiceNow?
an interesting story, to be honest. When I was growing up, I didn't really have a plan. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was kind of pretty good at lots of things, but nothing was really. I wasn't really like passionate about one area. So I was kind of a bit stuck. Then when I was a teenager, I had some knee pain that wouldn't go away, and I was quite an active teenager. I did lots of different sports, and this knee pain wouldn't go away. And after lots of different healthcare professionals, I ended up seeing a chiropractor because nobody else had helped me, and that was it was a really cool experience. It helped me significantly, and I was really inspired by the chiropractor because of how passionate he was about helping people. I decided that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help other people. So then I studied chiropractic for 4 years at university. Then I worked in a chiropractic clinic. And then after that, I started my own small business helping people with long-term pain conditions, and also working on like the rehabilitation elements as well, rather than just kind of one treatment and then they'd leave. And then while I was starting my business, it was also the pandemic. So that was a challenging time for everyone. And yeah,
Oh,
I ended up doing lots to kind of help earn a bit of money on the side because running a business during the pandemic wasn't particularly easy. So I worked sort of in food and beverage type assistant roles at various establishments like golf clubs and things like that. And as I was starting and running my business, I was a franchise of another company, so I could use their website and branding and things like that. So I didn't have to pay for and do that myself. Um, so the company that did the website design and branding for the franchise asked me to write a couple of blog articles. They asked me to write a couple of blog articles about starting a business, and that opportunity led to me starting to write blog articles for that company on a more regular basis around things like website design, using tools like Squarespace, Canva, and understand concepts around search engine optimization and things like that. So that kind of sparked an interest in me and inspired me to sort of just try a few courses and things in my spare time, just because I felt like it was something new to focus on and kind of exercise my brain a bit more. And I enjoyed that.
yeah.
So I did a few Udemy courses in my spare time, like a sort of Python for beginners. And then when you start doing those things, a funny thing starts happening. You probably experience it yourself, when you're talking about something or you've Googled something, and the next minute you've got targeted ads all over the place. So I was getting targeted ads all over the place, all over my social media, for example. There were coding courses, software development apprenticeships. And one day I was just swiping through Instagram stories and I saw an advert for a course that said, get into future tech with ServiceNow in association with the Prince's Trust. And wasn't asking me to spend any money. It said there was like no obligation. So I just put my email address in and forgot all about it. And then 1 month later, I was starting the next gen program as it was known then. Now it's been renamed RiseUp. So I started this course full time. And the only guarantee was I'd learn some new skills and there'd be opportunities for a job interview at the end. And it felt at that time like quite a big risk because it was a full-time course. But it was a complete accident that I came across it. However, it was probably the happiest accident I've ever been involved in, as it's completely allowed me to pivot and change my career course, give me some really fantastic opportunities.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, talk to us more about those opportunities that have come up as a result of doing the course. Like, how has it changed your
Yeah,
career, I
without
guess?
the RiseUp program, I'm really not sure what I would be doing now because I was looking to make a career change, and the RiseUp program really helped me to do that. It opened so many doors to me in terms of learning opportunities, networking, and ultimately the role that I have today in ServiceNow. During the program, I met a mentor at ServiceNow, and I met with him regularly during the program to kind of help me understand areas I could look to improve, and also sort of do things like improve my network. And he said to me that it would be really nice if I could sort of present the application that we built during the program to a few leaders within ServiceNow and just, see what they thought. And I thought that was a great opportunity to practice some presentation skills and also to just really appreciate how much I learned in such a short period of time. As a result of that, they asked me they said if I wanted to, I could apply for a role in what was then known as digital solution consulting team. And then ultimately I was successful and was able to enter the tech world. And that was really, really exciting for me because it allowed me to develop my career. And I think if I didn't have the RiseUp program, I would have felt a lot more lost in terms of trying to navigate a career change. So I was really grateful for the opportunity because without having gone through this program, I don't think it would have. I can't imagine myself being in this role where I am today.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And but what kind of challenges did you face in the program? I mean, that sounds like obviously it was very sort of positive for you afterwards. But what were the challenges that you faced during the program, and sort of how did you
Yeah, so
overcome
during the
them?
program, I completed lots of different kind of instructor-led and on-demand courses that were teaching sort of foundational concepts around ServiceNow development, ServiceNow administration, a few things around coding basics. I really enjoyed that structure of learning. It's something I always have found really comforting, easy to do, kind of get used to learning. And then we created an application during the program as well. It was only 10 weeks, so it was such a short time. I was surprised how quickly we picked things up. And I really found that the first couple of weeks were a bit of a blur because I didn't really understand what I was learning, if you know what I mean. So I didn't know what ServiceNow was. I'd done
Mm.
some research about like what it did and who founded it, those kind of things. I didn't really know what service management was. I didn't know what an incident was. I didn't know what we were talking around some concepts around scripting at one point, and I was like, what's a script? And then they were talking about client-side script, and I was like, what's a client? And then they were talking about business rules, and I was like, I don't understand what this all is. It doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't know what SaaS was. So just SaaS to me before joining ServiceNow was when I was being sassy. But actually, SaaS as a concept in terms of software as a service, that was completely new to me. So it was about 4 or 5 weeks into the program, something kind of clicked for me, and I realized how much I'd learned, even though I didn't fully understand it. I'd appreciated that I knew how to do some things, and that if I'd learned that in just a few weeks, then just be more patient with myself, that I would learn more things over time. So I kind of dealt with the challenges in the sense of being patient with myself, asking lots of questions. The supportive experience in the RiseUp program, we had sort of little groups of people that we would go to do some of the lab exercises, and also just sort of ask questions if we didn't want to ask them in front of everyone. And that really was easy for me because I'm quite a naturally curious person. So the more I asked questions, the more I practiced the lab exercises. I also got myself a personal developer instance, so you can play with different parts of the platform there. And then slowly but surely, I started to feel like a little less out of my depth per day. So it felt like, 1% improvement every day kind of adds up over even only over 10 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. And kind of outside of those technical skills you learned in the course, what else do you identify as being important for a career and for success in ServiceNow?
Beyond technical skills, I think the most important areas is mostly in relation to what people refer to as your soft skills, kind of your attitude, your ability to adapt and learn. So ServiceNow as an organization is evolving at an extremely fast pace. I mean, in only 2.5 years of being at ServiceNow, the company's completely changed and pivoted and moved forward from being known as more like an ITSM vendor to being now talking around agentic AI and the future of work. So the imagination is really the limit in that sense. So I think firstly, you have to be comfortable with the fact that you will never know everything. You'll never understand every single piece of ServiceNow, but that's absolutely okay. What's important to know is where to go to find more information and to have that kind of thirst for learning so you can just continue to pick up more and more knowledge over time. So I found finding the right resources to help you. So there are high profile kind of ServiceNow developers and advocates on LinkedIn that I follow. So then when you're scrolling, you can actually be doing a bit of learning and you can save posts for later and things like that. Also asking questions on the ServiceNow community, the documentation site, and also do things like virtual and in-person developer meetups. Those kind of things really help to hone the technical side of your skills, but also grow your network, because you never know when you might need someone in your network. It can be beneficial for future job prospects. And I think having that attitude of just trying stuff out, learning a bit, failing, trying again, learning, understanding things, asking for help, and then ultimately you realize over the time that you've improved. It's not an immediate satisfaction of improving immediately. And yeah, I think you appreciate and understand the concept much more in depth if you go and try something out. If you learn something theoretically, you have an understanding, but then when you actually go and apply it, I think that really, really helps. So for me, doing things like getting the personal developer instance to allow me to play around with the technology and try things out really helped.
Yeah, perfect, amazing. And was there anything else that you wanted to kind of talk about
I just wanted
today?
to talk a bit about my kind of today and tomorrow, if you like. So since the RiseUp program, when I joined ServiceNow to become a solution consultant, and as I explained earlier, the solution consultant kind of supports the sales process. And I worked in 3 different teams of solution consultants at ServiceNow in 2.5 years. So recently I've been working with the public sector central government team, where I've directly worked with central government customers and potential customers to help them understand different solutions that ServiceNow offers. And I've been really fortunate to basically be able to attend ServiceNow events and be involved in things like the World Forum, industry events such as the Service Desk and IT Support Show, doing small little speaking events, which has been really cool and really something I would never have dreamed of when I decided to change career. And actually, in the next couple of weeks, there's some exciting news for me. I'm going to be starting a new role. I'm going to be joining the technical training team in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm going to actually be delivering some of those instructor-led courses that ServiceNow offer. So it kind of feels like I've come full circle, having been on the student end of the courses when I was participating in the RiseUp program. So now I'm looking forward to helping kind of give back and help customers, partners, and anyone who wants to learn more about ServiceNow, improve their knowledge and get certified. And I think having had the experience of going from nothing to where I am today, it really will help me to give across information in a way that someone who's never understood it could hopefully pick it up more quickly.
Yeah, fantastic. I think it's great to give something back to, like you said, learners that are kind of going through the same journey that you've gone through as well. So that's absolutely amazing. So yeah, look, really appreciate your time today, Sam. I think that was some fantastic insights, and I'm sure anyone that's interested in kind of getting into the ServiceNow ecosystem can reach out to you via LinkedIn, or to see you at some of those ServiceNow events as well, and just come
Yeah.
and say hello, right? So yeah, thank you very much for giving us your time
Thank
today
you.
and,
No,
and, and
it's
speaking.
really great to talk to you. I think it's really nice to have, when you have a interesting background, when you haven't done a kind of traditional way of getting into a technological career or job. It's always something that starts a conversation. If I apply for a role on my CV, it always has a interesting thing where it's like, oh yes, you were a chiropractor and now you work in technology. So it's always a conversation starter for sure, and I'm happy to talk to people about
Yeah, yeah,
how I went about that. So yeah, happy for them to reach out.
yeah, amazing. Thank you so much.